I will have a really good video out about the day.
I'm at Lambert all day Sunday doing a radio stuff.
I'll be there. I'll be there for trial.
I'll be there 8 to 4. My little under 10s are playing.
Oh, nice. Eric, are they going to heat of the 15-minute rule? What do you reckon? Oh my goodness! It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Yes.
It's a miracle. Wow. Apparently there's a new rule now.
Digital machine must be submitted to the university.
Usually on Australia, 3 minutes before games, I'd be looking at it. And I'd have to go to managers and ask them, but then they wouldn't know. They'd be like, oh, we made a tough decision.
Goal to Manly United, number 25, Kai Evans. Manly United 3, Sutherland Sharks 0.
No, they're back to Sutherland now. They changed.
So, I mean, if it was...
It was only for a week.
then they changed back to something.
I did think the Sharks had some... I don't like clubs that drop their location.
Yes.
Like, I don't like how the Dolphins and the NRL don't have a... Yeah, no, I wasn't a fan of that. The logo looks nice.
The logo, I like the
I
colour.
like the logo, but...
It's like, oh guys, we don't know what's wrong.
But, so, I mean, I may for the rest of the time call them and refer to them in comedy as Sutherland. I'll do it till someone complains. I'll do it.
You got more nerve than me.
Or we just like, oh, the one thing my friend...
The girls are still distracted or whatever they are.
Because they, I mean, I know because SSFA and Sharks, they're talking about it.
Well, they wanted to merge because you need a women's program in order to be eligible for the Australian Championship. That was the talk at the time. You needed a women's program. And they were like, oh, we better get a women's program. And then they also got a new 5 minutes
season. Community Bank Freshwater, Brown Brothers Skip Bigs, Ray White, Brookvale Mazda, Manly Spirits, DYRSL, Lion Sport Travel, Bingley Balgala and Monavale, JB Metropolitan, CFS Surveyors, Auto Body Smash Repairs, Brookvale Aluminium, Amazon Power Assay, Benedict Recycling and Building Materials, Blue Science, Helper, NB Marine, Oxford Falls Grammar School, Vine Apparel, Holiday Estate, Loomis, Manly Pacific Sydney, Metronics, Ridge Brookvale, Grill, and Bestech. Now don't forget to head down to the canteen behind the Northern Goal for tea, coffee, cold drinks
to do a quick sound check? Do you have time for that? Hello, hello. This is my normal speaking voice, probably around here. All good.
Please welcome the two teams out of the field. From NPL New South Wales Men's, the Sutherland Sharks, and your Valley Line FC.
Welcome to Cromer Park. Where else would you rather be for your Valentine's Day on a Friday night? It's NPL New South Wales Men's match of the round. Two teams that showed plenty of promise in round one off the back of making some moves in the off-season. Both these two probably looking to push for finals and make a big improvement on 2024. It's Manly United hosting the Sutherland Sharks. Will Constantinides with you up in the box in the Lucas Neal stand, and as ever, it's always a pleasure to be in the Northern Beaches on a Friday night, and tonight is no different. Taking a look at the team news, starting first with Manly United. What a win they had last week right here. A 5-0 win against the Mariners, which turned plenty of heads around the league. That Manly's attack might be fit and firing for 2025. And you might have seen around the grounds already an international flavour to their squad. And that's due to all their added signings from the season, and there's plenty of optimism that this might be the year that they can return to the top six. Just the one change for Patrick Zwanswijk from their win last week, and it's an interesting one. Harry van der Sarg, who made his debut for them last week, returning to his junior club. He goes to the bench, and replacing him is a fan favourite up here, number 10, Harry McCarthy. As for the rest of the starting 11 for Manly, it goes like this. Number 1, Levi Kay. 2 is Aaron O'Driscoll. 4, Jesse Pires. 6, Bilal Belkadi. 7, Peter Kikeris. 11, Lucas Meek. 13, Tiger Kawano. 19, Alan Aganovich. 23, Darcy Burgess. 28, Jasper Chipman. And the new inclusion, number 10, Harry McCarthy. As for Sutherland, well, they were off to the perfect start in round one, up 2-0 away from home against Sydney United. But it would all come crashing down as they would go on to draw 2-2. But that performance has shown that this is not the same Sutherland Sharks that you might be familiar with. Steve Zorich's new signings are in full swing as they head north tonight in hopes of repeating their round 26 win against Manly last year. One major blow, though, is the loss of Costa Petrados. He could be set to miss a massive part of the year, if not the whole season. His brother Maki comes in to replace him. Iko Ehode Arimoto also enters the starting 11 after being on the bench last week. Their full 11 is number 1, Daniel Nizic, 2, Lachlan McDonald, 6, Mo Ahmed, 7, Peter Grozos, 21, Jerry Skatardis, 22, Kataro Katsuda, 23, Mason Fernandez, 26, Jacob Garner, who was sent off in this fixture last year, 56, Daniel Wong, 10, Maki Petrados, and 12 rather, Iko Ehode Arimoto. And with all that out of the way, all that's left for us is to kick this one off. Our referees for tonight in the centre is Michael Weiner. Assistants are Owen Metcalf and Matt Staples, and our fourth official tonight is Joel Crawford. This is one of 3 games kicking you off for round 2. How good was round 1 last weekend? Only gets better from here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the NPL New South Wales men's. All the drama, all the action as we get set for this one. Just waiting final checks from our referees, and it'll be Maki Petrados for the Sharks. Sharks wearing their predominantly white away strip, kicking from left to right. Manly in their traditional blue with red accents, going from right to left. This is a game again between 2 teams that might be looking to sneak into the finals last year after missing out. It's actually Manly that'll kick us off. Harry McCarthy. Bit of confusion there, and we just await the whistle from our referee. And we're kicking off here in the round 2, match of the round. Manly United looking to get us underway. Just knocking it around the back for now with Jesse Pires over on that far side. Him and Lucas Meek were really good down that right wing. They're on the far side tonight as Darcy Burgess tries to make some progress down the wing. Be a corner. Manly United looking to start nice and bright. They got off to a really good start last week. It took just 12 minutes for Tiger Kaiwano to find the opener against the Mariners. Very interesting opener at that, just preying on the goalkeeping mistake from young Jack Wachowski from the Mariners. And from then on, Manly just really kept taking things up a notch. And if they can keep putting goals away like that, their attack was a big issue last season. Don't think it'll be too much of an issue this year. They keep in this attacking form. Belcardi set to deliver. Numbers crowding around Daniel Nizic in the box. Plenty of options here for Belcardi to aim for. Low and driven delivery towards the penalty spot. Up goes Aganovic. And that's a decent set piece routine there from the hosts. Patrick Zvansvak will be happy that they were able to find the good head of Alan Aganovic. Exactly the type of player you want in that sort of position. You're a towering centre-back. Thankfully for Daniel Nizic and the Sharks, that goes over the bar. Arimoto sends it down the line, looking for Wong, who was instrumental in their 2-2 draw last week. Was key to both goals, scored the second. Up goes Garner, able to get his head first to that one. It's a battle in midfield. Burgess comes away with it on the right side of midfield. And now Manly can resume their controlled possession once more. Here is Jasper Chipman. Back with Aganovic. O'Driscoll moves it on promptly to Pires. Driven ball forward is collected at the back by the Sharks. Arimoto has to turn. He's under pressure though. So is Wong. The Sharks play their way out here. Go Ehode Arimoto. It's down the line for Wong. Doesn't have too much room to work with, but dances along that far sideline and takes it away from O'Driscoll. This is good stuff here from Wong and the Sharks. Wong, if that ball's central, it's cleared away at the first time of asking by United. Back it comes with McDonald. Sharks' real first foray forward. Katsuda. Quick little turn from Skatardis, but attack breaks down for the Sharks. And again, you can see the quality of Daniel Wong on full display there. He was so good in their 2-2 draw last week against the Sharks. Against Sydney United for the Sharks. That first down goal by United, he was the one who crossed it in before it was eventually bundled into the back of the net. And then his second goal was really something special. Nice volley on the rebound to give his side the 2-0 lead. left-hand side. Pira is able to beat Wong in the air. Wong, one of many new signings to the Sharks this season. One on the throw-in right now. Iko Ehode Arimoto. Here's Garner, one of a few players that have stuck around from the Sharks side last season that finished 13th. Here's McDonald. Grozos. Katsuda able to win it first, and that's important. It keeps the attack going. McDonald, low-driven ball. Had a bit of danger about it. Juganovic there to clear it away from Maki Petrados, making his first start for the Sharks. Both him and his brother Costa coming across from St. George City. Costa was taken off after just 13 minutes last week. Suspected long-term knee injury, could keep him sidelined for the whole year. That's a massive loss for Sutherland. Grozos whips this in towards the near post. Dealt with it the first time of asking. Still here for Sutherland. Second ball comes in. It's flicked on towards Arimoto. Flag was up immediately. And Iko Ehode Arimoto was there off the flick on. Did well to win the header. Initially did the Sharks. No question about that one. The flag was up immediately. Iko Ehode Arimoto comes to the Sharks well travelled. He signed for Villarreal when he was just 17. Back during COVID. Eligible for Australia, Japan and Cameroon. Player with plenty of promise still, trying to make a name for himself in the NPL, as are a lot of players here. It's been a fast start already here at Cromer. Manly had that half chance through Juganovic. Sharks that offside goal. Last time these sides met, it was a fiery game here at Cromer. Back in round 26, Sutherland got the better of Manly on that occasion. That was one of just 3 away wins the Sharks had all year last year. Looking to try and be a better side on the road. Wong can't get past Burgess that time. Sutherland, they were 7 losses, 5 draws and 3 wins away from Seymour Shore last year. Their first away win in 2024 didn't come until round 17 against Spirit. Then able to beat Hills and their opponents tonight, Manly. Foul on Kaiwano. Tangled up with Katsuda, it looks like. Kaiwano had a great debut for Manly last week. A goal and an assist, always nice and handy to introduce yourself to the home fans. Japanese foreigner coming into the side this year. Of course, Manly is well known for very strong Japanese players. Not too long ago that Seo Kambayashi was here. In comes the cross. It's cleared initially by Sutherland. Cardi takes it around his man. Kikaris rather. Took it around his man, and again Sutherland looking to just camp out for a little bit, try and sustain a bit of pressure. Both these sides were characterised by fast starts to round 1, and Manning able to close out the game better. Cross comes in, but didn't really meet its target. As mentioned, it was a hectic outing back in round 26 in 2024. Sutherland coming away with a 2-1 win. There were 2 red cards, 2 penalties. And in the end, it was Takahide Umabachi picked up the 91st minute winner for the Sharks. He's not in the squad tonight. Still suspended. Suspended last week as well. He'll be a massive re-inclusion to their back line. Sutherland were known for being a difficult side to break down at times last year, and he was a big reason part of that, as was now retired Mitch Stamatelis. Fernandez had his pocket picked by Kikaris. Up they go towards Kaiwano, wins the first ball, and that's promising here for Manly. McCarthy, his first real involvement. Haven't seen too much of him, and he's immediately hounded in possession. Nip and tuck in midfield here. And as Grozos is able to take it away down the other side, Daniel Wong can take his man one-on-one. Wong cutting inside, and that's straight into the grateful arms of Levi Kay. Maybe a bit of a preview as to what we can expect tonight. Two sides are really trying to battle for that midfield pressure. Harry McCarthy playing just off the main striker, Tiger Kaiwano. As Kotaro Katsuda following him everywhere he goes, as McCarthy goes in strong, and this is a player that's only just come back from injury, mind you. Manly's injury struggles were well documented last year, and that ultimately did hurt them at times. Two balls on the pitch, but Alan Aganovich is able to keep his pass away from it as O'Driscoll moves it on to Pires. Burgess has a step on his man, and this is promising here for Manly. Burgess clips it in, easily dealt with there by Lachlan McDonald. Still with Peter Kikeris. Going to shift his man. Back he goes to Chipman. And that'll stay with Manly, despite the protest from the Sharks. Belcardi into the feet of Kaiwano. They can't make it work. The second ball might have been there for a moment, but hooked clear by Katsuda. Kaiwano. Lovely ball around the corner. This is good from Meek. A dangerous ball in as well, and it was proving to be difficult there for McDonald. He had to just nip it around the corner. Kikeris was waiting at the back stick. So Manly United probably having the slightly better start of the two sides in these opening 10 minutes or so. Slightly more possession by my count. A couple of corners to it as well, but Sutherland have fired a big warning shot with that disallowed goal. Kikeris the man to put this one in, and again they crowd Daniel Nizic. He's usually fairly comfortable in the areas, Nizic. Towards the back stick they go again, and another promising corner. Aganovich getting up again. He did so from their first corner. And if they can find him in those sort of positions with regularity, he will make the Sharks pay soon. He's been so consistent for Manly for so long, Alan Aganovich. Manly continue their press. One heads out over the sideline. They'll look to box the Sharks in. Hode Arimoto over on that far side. Looking to take the throw. In the 20s game before this one, it was Manly who came away with a very comfortable win. Hoping for more of the same here, the home fans. Maki Petrados not able to find his target, only finds O'Driscoll. Aaron O'Driscoll, another one of the international signings for Manly. O'Driscoll, Meek, Kaiwano. O'Driscoll, an Irishman, coming across from the NPL Victoria. Here is Maki Petrados bearing down, but had a tight angle to deal with there. And again, Levi Kay, his action is fairly comfortable so far. I have a feeling with how these two sides played last week, both keepers can be in for a very busy night. Well chested down by Kaiwano. Karis tries to send his man one way, but Garner's there to mop it all up and sends it out for a throw in on the near side. Belcardi's pass is easily picked off by Skatardis. Katsuda, McDonald. Garner into the chest of Maki Petralos, who copped something there from Alan Aganovich. It was all legal, said our referee. the sideline. It's very physical between these two. And as mentioned, they did have their struggles last year, Manly finishing 9th. 15 points off the top 6, 7 points off 15th, so weren't in any major danger. Weren't really too close to finals. They'll be hoping to get a bit closer. Meek disguised the shot, went for the pass instead. Lucas Meek, the 25-year-old American, brace last week, sorry. It was 17 goals in 17 games for the Western Suburbs over in New Zealand National League. Already off to a very handy start for 2025. Mizic sends that one high, has Petratus to aim for, only on the head of O'Driscoll. Belcardi can't get under his control. It's with the Sharks now. Here's Skatardis. Katsuda wanted it in space. Skatardis' pass wasn't where it needed to be, and again it's battled in midfield. McCarthy can't beat his man. In the end, it's Sutherland who continued their attack. Wong cutting inside again with Maki Petratos, and that 1-2. You could see what the idea was there from the Sharks. That link-up play with Maki Petratos. Now there's a bit of sorting out to do between McCarthy and Katsuda. You just see a couple of challenges, very physical here in round 2, and neither side taking a backward step early in the season. McCarthy maybe feeling that getting his shirt pulled a little bit, but seems to be all under control so far. It's only been 15 minutes gone here at Cromer Park. McDonald searching for some options. Down the line they go with Mason Fernandez. Back with Grozos, had his opposite number on his back. Kikeris won it cleanly. Belcardi again has Katsuda on his back, didn't move it quickly enough, and neither side able to really gain a foothold in this game in terms of possession. It's been very back and forth in midfield especially. McDonald from Bulls FC Academy making the trip to the Shire from the southwest. Petratos flag is immediately up. Easy one for the official to spot on the near side. It's been a very interesting midfield battle so far. You've got this midfield 3 for the Sharks, anchored by Katsuda, flanked again further forward ahead of him by Skatardis. So has Mason Fernandez on the wing, Peter Grozos through the middle as well. And then for Manly you have Bilal Belcardi, Harry McCarthy, Darcy Burgess. It's shaping up to be a good battle in the centre of the park already, as Meek to nod it on for Kaiwana. It's promptly won back by McCarthy though. He goes to ground. A little too easy though, says the referee, Michael Wiener. And for a brief moment there, Manly looked like they had something going on the counter-attack. Again, they try and win it high up the pitch. Meek with Pires. Burgess. Pires has his eyes up looking for the crossing opportunity. Comes back out to Chipman. And the left fullback there not able to get clean connection on the shot as it rolls down nice and easy for Daniel Mizic. Mizic coming back to the NPL this season after a stint with MacArthur FC. Was well known for his long time at Sydney United 58. He was one of the best goalkeepers in the competition. The Sharks will be hoping for more of the same from him this year. Not to make too many big saves. Levi K's had a couple of shots on target come his way. Nothing too major for either two teams right now. Katsuda dropping deep to receive from Ghana. Skatardis, another that joins the Sharks from MacArthur. Had a bit more of a stronger A-League stint than Nizic had as a backup goalkeeper though. That's great play down the wing, and Kaiwano has got the other side of his man now. Has to wait for some support. McCarthy is central. Looking for Kikeris. Looping cross might bring him into play, but McDonald sends it far away for now. Pinballing around on the sideline, and the Sharks will let that roll away for a throw. Speaking of Jerry Skatardis, he comes back to Sutherland after playing back here in 2019. 29 appearances for the Bulls in the A-League, 43 appearances for Western United. Has a bit of silverware to his name, including the Australia Cup. His A-League experience on the bench for Manly as well, with Harry van der Sarg. Just goes to show the quality of the NPL this season is some of the best it's been recently. Prospect of the Australian Championship now on the horizon at the back end of the season. Of course, both these teams can qualify if they are the highest placed non-foundation club. There's Grozos and Aganovic just getting tangled up here. I'm surprised there wasn't a whistle either way. One of them had to have committed a foul in there somewhere. Belcardi has to play out of the press as Arimoto. Very late challenge there. And tension's starting to just rise ever so slightly here at Cromer Park. Is that free kick will have to be quickly retrieved by Kay. Keres goes back to Aganovic. Manly want to go forward though. Kaiwano's the target. Fernandez needs to play with Skatardis. Looking down the line, but Aganovic is there to intercept, and now Manly, can they build a counter here? McCarthy has to do it all on his own, and sold that foul as good as he could there, Harry McCarthy. He's appealing for a yellow, feeling that his side were going down the other end on the counter. Keres stands over this one again. Just one in the wall here for Daniel Nizic. Maki Petrados in the way. See what Manly can cook up from this set piece. In it comes from Kikeris. O'Driscoll is there, and so close from Aaron O'Driscoll. What a finish that would have been from the central defender. Seemed to volley it with his outside of the foot there, and was very, very close to going the other side of the post. Daniel Nizic could only watch and hope. Manly looking to having to defend here as Sutherland quickly going down the other end. Katsuda making a bursting run forward, but he was beaten to the ball there by Levi Kay. And just looking at the replay of that Aaron O'Driscoll chance, it just looked like it was going destined for the top corner until the final moment. As again, Manly give it away. Katsuda doing plenty of industrious work in midfield. Great touches there by Skatardis. It can only be parried for Maki Petrados. who opens his account for the season with Sutherland. His first goal in his new colours, and it's a true poacher's finish from the Sutherland number 10. It was right where you wanted him to be on the rebound. And Sutherland had a goal disallowed earlier. That one won't be chalked off. And Maki Petratos into the starting 11 and onto the score sheet as he collects Jerry Skotadis' shot. And tidy finish from close range. So the first goal of the evening goes the way of Sutherland, exactly the start they would have wanted. They won't have to, hopefully from their perspective, come from 1-0 down like they did in round 26 last year to win 2-1 rather. And Maki Petratos. Right place, right time. Feel like maybe should have put some of those chances they've had away. They've really had plenty of pressure, but ultimately after 25 minutes they find themselves a goal down. Daniel Wong now looking to carry, take it at his man Pires. Still with Wong, getting to the byline. Maki Petratos was the intended target, but that time Manly are wiser to it. Sutherland were bottom of the league for goals scored last year, just 32 goals in their 30 games. Already have scored 3 to start 2025. Looking to add another here maybe. In comes the cross. It's a good one as well to Arimoto, and that's the second header he's had this evening. The first was disallowed. That one he was in a great position, just couldn't get back in front of the ball to put it on target. But for Iko Ehode Arimoto, left fullback getting in some good positions here from the set pieces. Wong goes up to the back of Burgess. It stays with Manly though. Looking for a quick response here. Good challenge on that far side there by Jerry Skotadis. Knocking it around the back. They've definitely had more possession. Sutherland so far hitting them where it matters most as Kay swings that back towards the right side with Pires. Belcardi is under heavy pressure. His pass was momentarily loose, and again it's cleaned up by Sutherland. They've done so well at allowing Manly to have possession, but winning it back quickly in midfield where it matters most. Now it's Sutherland's turn to put their foot on it for a little while. Here's Garner. Dropping into midfield in space as Grozos beats one and puts it through the legs of Burgess. Wong goes again. Familiar position, driving at the defence. Now with Maki Petratos. Intercepted in midfield. This is better for Manly. Can they burst on the counter here? Out wide is McCarthy. Centrally again for Meek. Touches a little heavy though, and that allowed Garner to get in front of it. And in a 50-50 challenge, it skews wide for a Manly United throw. What do Manly have by way of a response? Just under half an hour gone. goal. Manly will maybe try and work their way in here instead of just lumping it into the box. O'Driscoll. Aganovich. All the way they go to Kay. Maybe looking to just draw this Sutherland defence out a little bit. Try and find some holes in it. There haven't been too many so far. Katsuda goes in strong. It stays with Manly. And McCarthy. The pass took a deflection and some easy sweeping there for Daniel Nizic. Sutherland, they're looking to get back into the sixth this season. It's been a long time since they played finals football, Sutherland Sharks. The last time they played finals was back in 2013, 12 years ago. They finished second that season, only to lose in their first two games of the season. First two games of the finals, sorry. Back in the old finals format, there were second chances for the higher seeded teams. They lost their first two finals games, were knocked out. Oh, that is a nasty one there. It seemed innocent, just late from both there. Mason Fernandez and Harry McCarthy just slipping over it. In bad time for both of them. It stays with Sutherland though. Skatardis thought about the shot, goes with the step-overs instead. Lines up Katsuda. And Fernandez is still on the ground here. He really would have felt that one. What happened there was McCarthy took a touch back towards his own goal, slipped at a bad time and ended up lunging at the legs of Mason Fernandez. He certainly didn't mean to. It was just a case of McCarthy slipping at probably the worst possible time there for Fernandez. And so this might be a bit of a chance to reset a little bit. Half an hour gone. Looks like Fernandez will be okay, just maybe copping a tough knock there.
There has been a goal at Wynn Stadium. Wollongong 1, St George City 0.
As you might have heard from our background noise, Wollongong Wolves have taken the lead against St George City down at Wynn Stadium. Of course, another Friday night game going on, 2 of 3 there. Also happening right now is St George City St George FC making their return to Barton Park, and they're playing host to the reigning premiers Rockdale. So a nice little local derby there. Sutherland looking to get 2 up before the break. Peter Grozos to deliver. He's at the edge of the box rather, is Grozos. Arimoto again is the intended target. That one has a bit too much on it. Can he keep it out for the goal kick? He tries, but in the end, Maki Petrados' corner sails all over for a goal kick. Sutherland have certainly turned plenty of heads this off-season, bringing as many new players as any club really this season. They've almost brought in an entirely new majority of their squad. You look around the team and there's not too many that were here last year. And so far it's doing them quite well here. Grossos, one of the new inclusions. Katsuda. Receiving it back off the defensive line. Skatardis has his head up, maybe thinking about the crossfield switch, and now he lets it go. Pura is able to head it nice and calmly back for Levi Kay, and that's very tidy defensive work from Jesse Puris. McCarthy. Elcardi, first time ball. Again, not too much doing in the air for Manly. Sutherland haven't beat above the ground right now, as O'Driscoll sends another one up, asking a lot of Kaiwano, who is dragged down rather unceremoniously. And in the end, a foul is paid, and Manly want to move quickly here. Kaiwano had Meek out there, and that's eventually where Burgess gets it to. Lucas Meek playing it back for Burgess. This is good here, but Burgess couldn't wrap his foot around it. And in the end, Tiger Kaiwano only watches it go back towards Daniel Nizic. Trados' touch is a little heavy. Still looks to keep it in play with O'Driscoll, but the Irishman doing well at the back so far. Almost had a goal to his name 10 minutes ago. Again, those combinations before shifting out wide for Manly. You can see what the intent is, but it's just not coming off right now for the hosts. Sutherland doing a good job of forcing them into errant passes. And Steve Zorich will be happy with how his side have started the first half so far. And they've had a couple of half chances, but nothing too major. Sutherland taking their big chance, had a goal disallowed. Done well to stifle a side that was so red hot at home last week. Ahode Aramoto. Garner can take it forward now with Lachlan McDonald. Checking inside to assess what his options are. Doesn't like what he has ahead of him and goes back to his centre back. Katsuda. McDonald wants it, and there's no one picking up Mason Fernandez. Midfield rotations have been on point here for the Sharks. McDonald has spotted a gap, attacks it, gives it back to Grozos. This is good here from Sutherland. Here is McDonald on the volley. And how's that for a finish from the youngster? He caught that so well, and it's fins up for the Sharks as they charge out to a 2-0 lead away from home. And Lockie McDonald adds a second for Sutherland. And from the moment it left his boot, it was destined for that bottom corner. Great interplay in the box for Sutherland, and he caught that as good as you can hope to for Lockie McDonald, and what a way. So double the advantage for Sutherland. They've been so clinical in this first half. And it all started really in midfield with Mason Fernandez dropping into space. He wasn't picked up by Manly. And from there, McDonald had to create a bit of space himself. Peter Grozos linking up with Skatardis. Back it was for McDonald, and he did the damage from there. And so far for a new look Sutherland, all going to plan for Steve Zorich and his men. Ahmed caught late at the back. So Sutherland will look to ride this one out. Might just take this chance to run you through both benches. So we get a bit of a substantial break in play. On the bench for Manly, number 3, Matt O'Donoghue. Number 9, Ben Cooper. Number 16, Ryan Devine. Number 17, Farah Coco. 21, the backup goalkeeper, Anthony Carreras. And number 26, I wonder if we'll see him come on at half-time, Harry van der Sarg. As for Sutherland, they have number 3, long-time Sutherland Shark, Jordan Roberts. Number 8, returning to the Sharks this season, Nick Sullivan. 14, Dylan Susovic. 17, Richard Shueki. 20, Jacob Trisaglavic. And 30, Sebastian Arans. Skakeris cuts inside. Nizic had a good angle on it. And let that go all the way out for a goal kick. As mentioned, it took Sutherland 17 rounds to get their first away win. They were close to getting it last week. This season they look pretty on track so far, but they'll remember all too well, and I'm sure Steve Zorich will remind them of that at half-time. They led 2-0 against Sydney United last week. And Manly have goals in them. Last week against the Mariners showed that. It'll be all about closing the game out from here for Sutherland. Fernandez was taken out late there by Chipman. And there's plenty of these little ticky-tack fouls with a bit of afters about them as well. Tardis again has that eye on the crossfield switch. It's some decent options out there for Sutherland if they want it. We've seen Daniel Wong get at his man a couple times. Hasn't been as key to the game as he was last week, but has still shown flashes of what he can do. Daniel Wong, he comes again to Sutherland well-travelled, as are a couple of these signings this season. He had 12 goals for Mount Druitt Town Rangers last season. He's played in the Chinese second division for a couple of sides. He's also played for the Espanyol B team in Spain. Here he goes. Tries to dance along the byline. The idea was there, but just ran out of room. Seems to beat his man more often than not so far tonight, Daniel Wong. Let out a bit of a clap in frustration there, knowing he had a good chance to create something. It's been a tough guard for Jesse Perez so far tonight. As we itch closer towards half-time, we might just give you a final score update from around the grounds. Still 1-0 between Wollongong and St George City, and still scoreless between St George FC and Rockdale. And all the action has been right here in the match of the round. Garner goes all the way back to Nizic, and he lets one loose. Won't find anyone, and Manly can try and make a bit of a dent in this 2-goal lead before the break. Garner goes over the back of Kikeris. Kikeris wasn't too pleased with that one, but referee's letting the boys play as Kikeris lets out a rather needless shove on Skatardis, and that was rather needless there from the Manly number 7, and I'll be surprised if he escapes without a caution there. Just 2 hands straight into the back of Jerry Skatardis. Again, just a bit of frustration creeping into Manly's game at home, not really as in control of this one as they would have liked. Janovic strong in the air. McCarthy wins the second ball. Manly looking to burst again on the counter, but it's just that extra pass in midfield that is missing. Skatardis clipping one up to Wong. Could this be 3? And he would have wanted that one back. Daniel Wong had a decent look at the shot, but couldn't get his body over the ball, and as soon as it left his boot, it skyrocketed over the bar. Skatardis there showing a nice bit of quality, a perfectly weighted pass onto the chest of Daniel Wong, who could have put his side up 3 goals heading into the break. Skatardis showing all 50-plus A-League appearances worth of experience there. Sutherland will be glad to have him back for them this season. Already making such a big impact in this game. Burgess able to win that header off Ahode Arimoto. Interesting to note, Manly playing with a bit of an inverted wing back at times. So far tonight you see Jasper Chipman in defence playing as a left back. Now he's tucking into midfield in that number 28 jersey alongside Bilal Belkadi. Header won by Mo Ahmed. He wins the second ball too. Bounce was momentarily kind for Wong, but it still spun away from him. That pass is too close to the goal line. It'll be a Manly goal kick. Sutherland goal kick, rather. And so, perfect half from a Sutherland perspective. They've taken all their chances, minus that one that Daniel Wong had just a second ago. So we'll have 2 minutes of time added on before we head into half-time, and Sutherland just hoping to take a few precious seconds off the clock from their perspective. Petrados had spotted Kay off his line, and that would have been something special from that range on the turn and volley. Driscoll flips it into the feet of Kaiwano. Touch was heavy in that invited pressure from Skatardis, who's not giving up on winning it. Skatardis will go from range. And they've got a touch on the way through. You can just see Manly's frustration continues to grow with this game. Sutherland have a chance to go 3 up at halftime. That would really send a dagger to Manly United as in comes the corner. Decent delivery. It's well cleared though. Second attempt is met, but Manly, a 2v3 here on the counter. Numbers are joining quickly though with McCarthy. Has Kikeris to his left. There's the pass for Kikeris. Straight at Nizic though. And that's a good as chance that Manly have had in the last 20 minutes or so. Kikeris trying to guide it into the bottom corner with that finesse shot. Nizic well positioned to make the stop as we tick down here. And that'll be it for the first half here from Cromer Park. Manly find themselves down as the home side. Sutherland have taken their chances. Goals to Maki Petrados and a nice one from Lockie McDonald. Have their side in the ascendancy. A good chance before the break from Peter Kikeris to put away, but Manly are still in this one. They're not out of it by any means. They do have goals in them. Plenty to talk about for both sides. And we'll see what changes Patrick Svanslike makes at the break. I've been Will Constantinides with you for the first half. We'll see you back soon on the other side of this short break. Welcome back to the second half of football here at Cromer Park. It's Manly 0, Sutherland Sharks 2. Maki Petralos' 25th minute goal got the scoring started for the visitors, and it was soon followed up about 10 minutes later by a nice half volley from Lockie McDonald. An interesting second half awaits. Sutherland were in this position last week against Sydney United 58, only to find themselves walking away with a draw. Manly scored 5 goals at this venue last week, hoping they can find their striking touch again. Will Constantinidis with you again for the second half, and as we take a brief look at the teams, they remain unchanged. No surprises that Manly United were the second team out of the sheds at the break. Patrick Zwanswijk, no doubt, looking for a bit of added inspiration from his side. Meek able to turn and finds a good pass. Kawano was left behind him though by McCarthy. Stays with Manly. Chipman into the feet of McCarthy. Has to work in a tight space, but there's too many Sharks circling around the ball. Groz's shirt was tagged, and Sutherland will calmly get play underway once more. It was a very interesting first half indeed. Manly, for all the possession they really had, were unable to make it count. There were plenty of shots both ways, but Sutherland definitely had the better chances of the two sides. Deserved leaders at this point, and Manly have given themselves a difficult task ahead of them in these next 45 minutes. It's so important for Manly to pick up points in this early part of the season. They have so many games at home to start the year. Picked off in a good position here. Fernandez cutting inside. Maki Petralos again. And the press pays off for Sutherland. Straight out of the break, they add to their lead. And the troubles only grow more for Manly United. They give it away at the back. Maki Petralos has a brace on the evening. And a goal that Manly really undid themselves there. They're playing out from the back. Too easily picked off by Mason Fernandez, who all he had to do was find Maki Petralos in space on the penalty spot, and he was never going to miss from there. And if there were concerns that maybe Sutherland had lost a bit of their firepower with Costa Petralos out, his brother Maki is doing the damage for them tonight. Staring down the barrel of a 3-0 defeat at home after winning 5-0 last week. Taken away by Belcardi. Manly in search of some inspiration and fast. Still plenty of time, of course, to find 3 goals, but it's the way Sutherland have been playing and taking their chances. It's very, very difficult for the hosts tonight. As mentioned, it's so important that Manly get off to a good start this year with the home games they have. They have another home game next week against Sydney United 58. 4 of their first 5 games are actually at home. 5 of their first 7 are at Cromer Park, so dropping points here will be very difficult for Patrick Zwanswijk and his side to take. As I say, that they've sent the substitutes out to warm up, so some changes you think coming soon from the bench. Plenty of attacking options out there for Manly to look at. You've got Ben Cooper, has goals in him, 4 goals in him last season. Harry van der Sag as well, a good option on the bench. Farakoko as well, got on the score sheet last week against the Mariners. But right now for Sutherland, it is all going to plan for the boys from the Shire. Exactly the start they would have wanted. Karis standing over the free kick now. Two Sharks went for that one. Wasn't properly cleared. O'Driscoll's in the mix. A bicycle kick by Lucas Meek. He got a great connection on that one. A brilliant save by Daniel Nizic at close range. Exceptional reactions from the Sutherland shot stopper to deny the American Lucas Meek. Caught everyone in the ground by surprise there. Not just with the fact that he attempted it, but his execution on there almost to perfection. Sutherland almost paid the price for not having cleared it. And just a little to the side there of Daniel Nizic. I don't think he stops that. Cross comes in again from Kakaris. And Perez's header always rising at the near post. And so a couple of flashes there of Manly. They'll be wanting to convert those. That would have been the perfect way to get the home fans back on side. In hopes of tracking down this massive lead. Again, Sutherland have been prone to a slip in 2025. Perhaps a reminder that Manly have more goals in them potentially. Grozos collected rather agriculturally there by Lucas Meek. Just an update from our game down in Wollongong. There was a lightning delay, which has kept the game interrupted for the time being. Score remains 1-0 in favour of Wollongong as players stopped. Here is McCarthy. Links up with Kakaris, but again, Manly just can't make it stick in the final third right now. McCarthy flicks it on, but Garner's there again. Garner and Ahmed for Sutherland have been so consistent at the back. Flanked by Lockie McDonald, who's on the score sheet, and Ahode Arimoto, who was almost on the score sheet, had the flag not gone up early. Just misjudges the flight of the ball. Comes O'Driscoll, no nonsense defending there from the Irishman. Bouncing around, Grozos is there and shifts it wide for McDonald. If you can win the first ball here, he couldn't, but then they're forced to go backwards. They can't break forward immediately. Good turn in midfield by McCarthy. Now with Kaiwano, able to turn his defender as well. Just a little bit behind Meek, which halts their momentum, but still with Darcy Burgess and United. Meek. Burgess gets the call of man on, has to evade his man and rides the challenge of Wong. Burgess. Inside, well controlled by Skatardis. Peter Grozos isn't beaten in the air. It's Balcardi and Katsuda getting tangled up, and the Sharks are feeling that was a foul. The foul is paid eventually, and the Sharks bench aren't pleased with how that went. Sharks are upset about the late whistle. They felt the foul should have been called earlier. Steve Zorich is on the bench letting his feelings known. Not letting the foot off the gas are the visitors, trying to push this 3-goal lead out even further. So a bit of a delay in the restart here. Peter Grossos definitely would have felt the effects of that challenge.
I'm saying nothing.
Just waiting for them to get off the pitch and they can resume. No signs of a sub either way. 55 minutes gone.
Yeah, thank you. We're not saying anything.
You have to think Manly are eyeing up a double change potentially. Corner well won. And Maki Petratos, what a game he is having. First start of the season, already has a brace. He's been so influential off the ball as well. His hold-up play especially has been key for the Sharks, trying to keep possession at times. Mason Fernandez has had a handy game as well. Him and Jerry Skatardis have been so good in midfield. O'Driscoll had to go over the back of Kaiwano there, but McCarthy clips it on, and now Manly could race away here. Kakeris has it at his feet, has numbers in support. Harry McCarthy was just off balance, reaching for that shot, and the Sharks do well to track back there. You can sense the urgency from Sutherland, not wanting to let Manly get back into this game so easily. Good lesson to learn in round one, to stick tight after being 2 goals up. As mentioned for Sutherland, it's been a long time since they've been in the finals. Their last highest league finish was 7th back in 2016. Since then, they've been in the lower mid-table, a couple of relegation scraps, which they've staved off over the last 2 years. A couple of difficult years in COVID during the no relegation period. And they've come out the other side of that this season with renewed optimism, a host of new signings, which right now are working a treat. Seems definitely like a new era could be upon us from the boys from the Shire. McCarthy turns and goes into space, but is sandwiched immediately by 2 defenders. Ball was won cleanly, and now Sutherland look to launch on the attack with Wong. Beaten to it by Jesse Perez though. And he couldn't flick it on. Pinched off Fernandez by Burgess. Has a player centrally. Eventually gets to Harry McCarthy. Has Peter Kakeris to his left. Kakeris. Good chance brewing here for the Manly United. Still Kakeris, but again, it's Sutherland who put numbers behind the ball quickly. Back into the mixer it goes, up for Meek. Wants the corner. It'll be a goal kick instead.
Flash calls around the grounds. There has been a goal at Penzer's Park. Sorry, at Martin Park, I should say. St George Saints 1, Rockdale Illiman 0.
You might have heard that again from the ground announcer. A massive goal for St George. Side that finished 12th last season. Already up a goal to 0 against the reigning premiers Rockdale. And Rockdale were 2-0 down against St George City last week. Came back to draw 2-2. And they'll need another comeback here. Meanwhile for St George, they were up 1-0 against Olympic the week prior. And so action continues here. Meanwhile, over in Wollongong, down at Wynn Stadium, still yet to resume play after that lightning strike. Aganovich, quick pass forward for Burgess. Again, this midfield of Sutherland has been stifling for Manly tonight. So good at denying them good chances into the final third and making it nice and easy for the defenders. But that being said, Jacob Garner and Mo Ahmed, whenever they've been called upon, they've been very tidy. McDonald. Grozos. Katsuda. This is exactly what Sutherland want. Just their midfield bossing this game as they've done for the majority of the hour gone here. Intercepted by Manly. Can they break forward quickly? McCarthy. Vicaris. Over the sideline it goes. Meek. Hode Arimoto felt as though he was pushed in the back by Meek, but he'll take the throw instead. And now Daniel Wong is on the turf. This will attract some attention from the Sutherland medical staff. Daniel Wong has been very busy on this left wing. When he gets the ball to feet, you can see the immediate intention is to just drive at the defenders, try and take his man one-on-one and cause some problems. It looks like sub might be coming on to replace him. Dylan Susovic. Harry van der Sarg also receiving final instructions from the bench. A few players actually. It could be set for a double or triple change even from Patrick Zwanswijk. And so it looks like actually a quadruple change for Manly United could be coming. Van der Sarg, O'Donoghue, Coop and Farakoko. These are certainly fresh legs coming on. Half an hour to go to try and track down this 3-0 lead. They want to start sooner rather than later. McCarthy looking to take things into his own hands. Vicaris. First touch just let him down. He was reaching for the second, but it's all too easy for Lockie McDonald in the end. Hode Arimoto. The Sutherland throw. And now here comes that quadruple change. So Coop, Van der Sarg, O'Donoghue and Coco come on. They'll be replacing firstly Darcy Burgess, then Peter Kikeris. O'Driscoll also seems to be receiving some final instructions. He won't be coming off just yet. And the last two players coming off are Harry McCarthy and Jasper Chipman. So 4 pairs of fresh legs here for Patrick Zwanswijk and his side to make a difference. So it'll be interesting to see where Van der Sarg goes. Last week he was playing as a left winger, given plenty of license to roam through the centre. Looks like he's taken up a central position there. Harry van der Sarg might be playing as a bit of a number 10. As a winger. Farakoko has gone out to that left wing. Still no changes for Sutherland. If it ain't broke, don't fix it for Steve Zorich and his men. Van der Sarg's first touches. Pass will invite a bit of pressure, but Ganovic is there. Well kept in on the far side by O'Donoghue. He can beat his man and keep possession, but he couldn't. Sutherland resumed control once more. Skatardis. Katsuda. Great football here by Sutherland. Shifting it out for Daniel Wong. Seems to have shaken off that earlier knock briefly as he goes back again at Pires. Katsuda on the edge of the area. His combinations have been excellent from Sutherland so far. Back with Wong. And the commentators curse strikes as that attack breaks down. So an update, still nothing there for Wollongong. Meanwhile, Coop was looking on the edge of that one. He was close, but it's still promising signs for Manly United. Coco and Coop getting involved early. Play still yet to resume down in the Gong. St. George have that 1-0 lead over Rockdale. O'Driscoll. Here is Pires. Manly knocking it around, but it's getting into the final third, which has been difficult. Belcardi shows his man a clean set of heels and moves it for Coco. Donald doing well to intercept. Still stuck down on that far side. Here is O'Donoghue. Coco at full stretch, but picked up by the assistant on the far side. That final change could be coming here for Patrick Zvansvik. Looks like Ryan Devine is being prepared. That's the fifth and final outfield player he has at his disposal. No surprise he's made those subs early, chasing this game. Forward by Agatovic. Mizic. Over towards the far post, down at the other side of the ground. So just under 70 minutes gone here. Time is certainly running out for Manly to make a comeback in this one. O'Driscoll launching wide. Belcardi, important to step in and win that one with Van der Sarg. Van der Sarg, Kaiwano, those two try and link up, but it's not on the same wavelength tonight, have the Manly attackers. Good throw in a good area here, and now here comes that final change. Bilal Belcardi making quick exit of the pitch. On comes Ryan Devine. Fernandez bursting forward. Out comes Kay. It's an awkward touch though, but he'll get a second one to it and sends it out over the sideline and onto the roof of the Lucas Neal stand. Petrados gets around O'Driscoll, but Pires is there to double team him. Now another corner. The corner count has been rising. Sutherland have had plenty of goes at it. Time is running out for Manly. This will be a big clean sheet and 3 points for Sutherland to walk away with. Edge of the area. Skatardis tries to screw the ball in with that inside of the foot shot. Swerving in the air, but ultimately catching practice for Levi Kay. Coco bursting through the center of the park. Good interception there by Garner just to take it out of the path of Cooper momentarily. Attack continues though. Arimoto, an important touch to send that over the sideline. Skitardis keeps it in and knocks it down the line intended for Wong. It almost hits the VO. Arimoto. Manly want him to hurry up a little bit. Sensing time is of the essence as Grozos has Pires and O'Driscoll with him, and that time Manly able to get the better of him. Now Levi K. Inside to Kaiwano. This is better from Manly. They have numbers out left. O'Donoghue. Good chance to get back into this one for United. Near post cross. Deflected away. It'll be a corner. Still no subs yet for Steve Zorich. I thought he might have been making one a moment ago, but he's kept the subs warming up. Likes what he's seeing from his side so far. Coco. Deep delivery out to O'Driscoll, but there's too much on it. Sutherland will be grateful to see another one go out. O'Driscoll. Ball's already out. And you just get the sense since that third goal, the game has really fizzled down, which is good from a Sutherland perspective. I like the game exactly as it is, slowing it down, not allowing Manly any momentum as Meek is collected and thought he was fouled. The referee said it was clean though. Okay, has Petrados in front of him, and they'll have to pass their way out through Aganovich. O'Driscoll sends that towards the corner flag. McDonald can only head it and has to concede the corner. Time running out for Manly. Manly looking just for anything to get a bit of hope and optimism about this result as Nizic. Easy two hands for him. Looking forward to closing out his first clean sheet in Sutherland Sky Blue. Daniel Nizic just has about 15 minutes of regulation time to keep Manly at bay. Okay, lets it bounce all the way. Fernandez was the man chasing that one. Again, the sting has really been taken out of the game. It was a game that was really hotly contested in the first half. You saw challenges flying in. The game played at a nice tempo, but that third goal straight out of the halftime break for Sutherland might have dealt the killer blow as Meek is taken very, very late by Wong, and he'll go into the book. It was right in front of the Sutherland bench as well. And Steve Zorich will advocate for his player here, but Daniel Wong is the first player to be carded tonight. Sarg going to whip this one in again. Manly, they've been forced to play a bit slower than they might have liked. Van der Sarg, it's a good delivery into the mix. So Driscoll is up. It bounces around, but in the end it's Katsuda who clears. Divine. With Kaiwano. O'Donoghue drives forward himself, puts the shot on, and there was Ben Coop waiting for the knockdown. Easy 2 hands for Daniel Nizic. Well, won by Wong and Aramoto. This left side's been very effective for Sutherland. Aramoto, who was on the bench last week, he starts today and he's put in a very good performance for Steve Zorich. Him and Daniel Wong on this left side have been solid defensively, also look good going forward. Equally, both wings, it's been really just in general an all-round team performance by Sutherland. Every player's put in a very good game. Lockie McDonald over on that far side, jumping in with a second goal. Coop goes up in the air, comes back out all the way to Meek. Here's Lucas Meek. To get at Arimoto. Puts in the cross intended for Coop. And Mo Ahmed had garnered enough pressure to stop that header going on target. And just going back to Sutherland, it has been really every part of the pitch has been on fire tonight. The midfield, Skatardis especially has been very good alongside Katsuda. Then you look at the right side with Fernandez and McDonald. Excellent link-up play for the second goal. Those two are combining. And the attack, Maki Petratos at the top of it. 2 goals to his name. What Steve Zorich can be proud of is Aramoto sees it go between his legs. Nizic calls keeper. And obliges with the easy cross claim. Janovic goes back to O'Donoghue, and again Manly just forced to reset here. Not spending as much time in the opposition half as they might have liked. Steve Zorich not happy with his midfield side, not tracking back there. Again, Sutherland not settling for this 3-0 lead. They won't stop until the 3 points are secured. Substitution looks to be on its way. Richard Shueke for Sutherland will be the first man off the bench, and that'll come at around the 80th minute mark. Hode Arimoto forced to launch it. It's 11 behind the ball right now for Sutherland. It'll stay in though, and Rosas will chase. They recycle possession with Levi Kay. Van der Sarg trying to get at Sutherland, but again it's just broken down, and that's really been the story of Manly's game tonight. Even when they have had possession, it's just been easily picked off by Sutherland, especially in the second half. Really haven't been able to create too many significant chances, and now that sub will come. So Richard Shueke.
Substitution for the Sutherland Sharks, making his way from the field is number 10,
Shueke, who started in round 1. Maki Petratos is subbed off with a brace. He won't get his hat-trick, but he'll get plenty of high fives from the Sutherland bench for what has been a real complete performance from their number 10. Grozos kept it in. Janovic back towards the center of the park. Ryan Devine looking to swing that wide. It'll stay in and it'll roll out for a goal kick. Sutherland. Just happy to continue letting the clock tick down right now. It's really been a shutout in the second half as O'Driscoll goes climbing over Richard Shueke. The young substitute doing well to win a foul there and allowing his side just to advance up to the pitch again. And so it looks like Sutherland, barring a miracle comeback from Manly, won't have to wait until round 17 for their first away win like they did in 2024. Scoreline holds, they'll only have to wait another 10-15 minutes. Coco. Now for Janovic. So these sides, they continue on from here. Meek. Good chested control. Gets past Aramoto and puts it on the volley, but was off balance and his shot was always rising as Hode Aramoto felt that he was dragged down by Meek.
We do believe that we received unconfirmed news that the match may have been abandoned between the Wollongong Wolves and St George City with a score at Wollongong Wolves 1, St George City 0.
So for these teams, next week, Sutherland will play their third away game in as many rounds. They travel west this time, out to Wanderers Football Park to take on the Wanderers. That'll be a Friday night kickoff at 7 p.m. They'll put themselves in that game, man. Wanderers, they were 1-1 draw against Mount Druitt last week. As for Manly, they will be at home again against Sydney United 58. That'll be another Friday night game, so another chance to try and right the wrongs of this result as time ticks down here. Here is Coco. Donahue back to Coco. Cross comes along the ground, and again, Manly United just out of sync in attack so far tonight. Happy to take more time off the clock here. Time really the friend of Sutherland at just under 7 minutes to go. Coop looking to link up with Kaiwano. Just not working here for Manly. Here is Van der Sarg. Leg dangled there by Fernandez. An easy call for Michael Wiener. And this will be an easy yellow card for the substitute as well. Richard Shueke, he's barely been on 10 minutes. Gets the yellow card there for kicking the ball away. Devine, his pass is picked off, and now Sutherland can go looking for a fourth here potentially. Shueke. Did that go out? It did. Was able to beat his man and just ran out of real estate on the near side. Promising attack. Maybe a fourth goal was brewing there for Sutherland. Now another substitution is coming. Dylan Susovic joining Sutherland from the reigning champions Marconi. Didn't play too big of a part in their first grade championship winning season. Did Dylan Susovic coming across to Sutherland in search of more game time and has a chance to make an impact here to close out the game. He replaces Daniel Wong, who's had a productive but quieter night than he did last week. Mizic sends it forward. Grozos now on the turn and great touches and control.
Flash scores around the ground. There has been a goal at Barton Park. St George 1, Rockdale Illington 1.
As he you may have heard, Rockdale Illingdon have equalised at home, away to St George FC. Still plenty of time there, as there is here. That one is set for a big grand finish. A bit more comfortable. Here at Cromer, as Susovic is on the ball, looking to link up with fellow substitute Richard Shueke. O'Driscoll beats him in a foot race to the ball, and they get a fistful of each other's shirt. Shueke has to be careful he doesn't get a quick red card, a second yellow. Getting plenty of cheers from his teammates there, Richard Shueke, for his pressing work up top. Into the closing stages now. Less than 5 to go at Cromer. Brazos drifted offside. Daniel Nizic, you might not be able to hear him, but he's barking out instructions at the back for Sutherland. Such an experienced campaigner now. He's been in the NPL for almost so long it seems. He's still quite a young player, Daniel Nizic. Been a key player at United. Now looking to play a leading role for Sutherland. Shueke, driven shot. Susovic was sniffing at the back post, but it wasn't close enough for him to try and tap it in. Another sub may be coming for Sutherland. Jordan Roberts, a Sutherland veteran. Another substitution coming as well for Sutherland. Nick Sullivan as well coming onto the pitch. Looks like there's a bit of an injury on the far side. Nick Sullivan again, another one of the returning contingent. The Sutherland Sharks, like Joe Skatardis, he's a new signing this year, but he has played it before. Stint was a bit more recently though, 2 seasons ago he was with Sutherland. Last season he was part of Arpia's side that went on to win the Waratah Cup. Spent 2 seasons here, it was his youth club as well, Nick Sullivan. Spent time in the A-League with Perth and Western Sydney. So here comes that substitution now. It's going to be Jerry Skatardis, the like-for-like swap in midfield. Sullivan will replace him. And Mason Fernandez, who's gone off on that far side with the knock, will be replaced by Jordan Roberts. Okay. With O'Driscoll. As we tick into the 89th minute, this looks like a very comfortable second half here for Sutherland. The damage was done in the first half with 2 goals, and the third in the break really dampened any hopes of a comeback as Donahue rides the challenge but has to concede the throw.
St George 1, Rockdale 2.
And as you may have heard, an update from Barton Park. St George FC, who were up 1-0 against Olympic last week, only to go down 2-1, now find themselves in a similar position, 2-1 down against Rockdale after leading by a goal to nil. Be a tough one to swallow. Again, another lead given up. In terms of leads here, it's been smooth sailing for Sutherland. Van der Sarg. O'Driscoll. With Zaganovic. So we wait further instructions from the 4th official as to how much time will be added on. A couple subs were made, but since Manly only used 2 windows to make 5 subs, shouldn't be all that much time for Sutherland to wait to close out these all-important 3 points, their first win of the season. And I stand corrected, it'll be 5 minutes of time added on. Shanked clearance, off the foul, and more time will tick down for Sutherland. Nizic will take no chances, go long, send it to his big man up top. And it's been a really consistent performance from Sutherland from start to finish, from front to back. And they are showing tonight why they are potentially a threat to sneak into the top 6 this season. Not too many would think of Sutherland as a top 6 side in years gone by. But this new look outfit under Steve Zorich with all these new signings look like they're going to be the real deal if this result is anything to go by. Improvement on last week's game against Sydney United 58 as well. This time they've held the lead and this time they've looked to close out the game. As for Manly, questions remain as to whether that 5-0 result last week was a one-off or whether this is a bump in the road for them. Timing of that stoppage on the far side. There's a question about how the drop ball restart will commence as Coco sends it back in as the rain starts to fall here at Cromer Park. We've managed to avoid it for most of the game, but it's coming down now. As Susovic sends it forward, him and Shaweke were in 2 minds as to who was getting that pass. Back to Susovic. If he has his head up, he's got Grozos on the far side, and he's found him. And Grozos, maybe a bit of a tired touch there from the Sutherland number 7, as Nizic tells him to go to the corner, but he takes his man on instead. And I think with just 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining, this 3-0 lead is probably in the bag. So for Manly, it'll be back to the drawing board after this week. There was so much promise and hype. Round 1 at home, season opener, a 5-0 win against the Mariners. Showing what they could do, but again, it's a side that was inconsistent at times last season. I want to avoid that tag again in 2025, and they haven't done much to avoid it. A 5-0 win in week 1, followed up by a 3-0 loss at home in week 2 is certainly going to be difficult to analyse where they stand this season, Manly. There's no doubt there is quality in this side. It's just whether they'll be able to put it together on a consistent basis. As for Sutherland, it's been a complete performance, bouncing back after almost an opposite fashion to what Manly had in round 1, where we still had some questions about Sutherland, whether they would be able to close out a full 90 or whether they would be an inconsistent side. They've almost swapped roles in round 2, these two. Roberts couldn't win it in the air, as there is Coop with Kaiwano. Susovic goes in strong and wins it. Sutherland in the hunt for a 4th maybe. Susovic went himself, and that attack slows down. Ahmed in midfield now, stepping out of the back 4. Nizic is again yelling for his side to go to the corner. As they'll battle it out down that far side, as there is Ahmed heading it out over the sideline. Or Nick Sullivan, rather.
scores around the grounds, full time out of Barton Park. St George 1, Rockdale 2.
So that result is confirmed at Barton Park. Rockdale bounced back from being 2-0 down to St George City. Meanwhile, it's full-time at Cromer Park. Manly United 0, Sutherland Sharks 3. It was a complete performance from Sutherland. A result that'll do a lot for their credentials as a quality side this season. 2 goals in the first half, one from Marky Petrados, another from Lockie McDonald. And then straight out of the break, it was Marky Petrados who added another. And from there, it was a complete second half performance from Steve Zorich's side. They did so well to shut out Manly and avoid any doubt of this result. I've been Will Constantinides with you for the match of the round on Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. It's been a real pleasure. Until next time, we'll see you again soon.